Are you looking for the perfect swing trade setup? In this video, I'm not only going to just give you the perfect swing trade setup, but I'm also going to give y'all an educational step-by-step process on how I found this perfect swing trade, right? So I'm going to walk y'all through my swing trading process. If you watch my last video, you already see my last swing trade I did, but this is the next one right here. So right now, I got pulled up AMD and NVIDIA. The reason why I got AMD and NVIDIA pulled up is because about 30 to 40% of a stock movement is based on the sector that it's in. I plan on swing trading AMD, and NVIDIA is in the same sector as AMD, so AMD can move. AMD movement has a big involvement on AMD stock, right? So I'm gonna pull the chart out like I always do and show y'all this setup and why I plan on doing this trade, right? I'm probably gonna put this trade on Monday. We'll see what happens. But I got AMD and NVIDIA pulled up. The reason why I have both of these stocks pulled up is because AMD and NVIDIA are in the same sector, and about 30 to 40% of a stock's movement is based on the sector that it's in. So I'm looking at both NVIDIA and AMD, right? So on the daily chart, on NVIDIA, look like we came down to the, I think that's the 50 MA. We came down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band, came through the 50 MA. The Bollinger Band popped it back up, and now we're above the 50 MA. We came back down to retest the 50 MA, and now we're going up, right? So we're above the 50 MA, which means that we're bullish. On top of that, we have the MACD cross, meaning that the stock is going in an upward trend. The RSI is, I like to look at this middle line right here as support and resistance. And I haven't read that or learned that anywhere, but it just based on me looking at charts so much, I think the middle line right here is a nice support and resistance line. Y'all check me on that, man. If I'm wrong, y'all get at me in the comments and let me know if the middle line in the RSI is not support or resistance, or if you feel the same way. Look back at the chart, tell me if I'm right or wrong, right? But that's how I feel. So if that is the case, it came down to the support and it's going back up. So I'm getting bullish vibes from NVIDIA. All right, AMD, we are more oversold than NVIDIA is. So it looks like AMD has a little more room to run as far as the RSI goes. The MACD is about to cross. NVIDIA has already crossed. So with AMD, we came down to the VWAP and the bottom of the Bollinger Band, right? This candle has a long wick showing that it tried to go through the VWAP, but the VWAP was holding it up at a level of support. You buy calls at support. So it looks like we're at a level of support. So that's on the daily. Now I'm gonna take a look at another time frame. So on the weekly time frame, AMD has came down to the 50 MA, right? The last week, it came down to the 50 MA with that long candle coming down as a level of support. But not just the 50 MA as support. If you look at this right here, look at this. You see all these candles. This was holding this stock up. That level right there was holding that stock up. It tried to come down. So that's a strong level of support where we just bounced from last week, right? On the weekly chart. Strong level of support on the weekly chart for AMD. We're also pretty oversold on AMD. Now, NVIDIA, we're closer to the overbought range on AMD. On NVIDIA, but NVIDIA is showing me a nice bull flag. The bull flag isn't confirmed until it breaks that line right there, but it looks like that's the direction we're going into. It came down to the pivot point, using the pivot point as like an area of support, and now it's going in the upward direction. For some reason, I feel like NVIDIA has more room. I mean, AMD looks like it has more room, at least on the chart, to run than NVIDIA does. So that's the daily, the weekly. Now let's look at short time frames. Just in case you don't want to swing trade and you want to do a quick scalp move, right? So they are both held up by moving averages, right? So AMD is right on top of the VWAP. Right on top of the VWAP. The MACD look like it's about to cross, and the RSI is on its way up, right? That's bullish confirmation on every time frame. Now, on NVIDIA, the MACD is about to cross, and we're right at that level of support, which I feel like we're gonna break through. Okay, so that was the technicals. As far as the financials, AMD just reported. As far as the financials, AMD just reported earnings this past week. And after they posted earnings, the stock went down, but they did beat estimates on earnings. So that's another reason why I was looking at AMD for the swing trade. Also on May 24th, or I think it's May 24th, NVIDIA posts their earnings. So I'm gonna get a feel for the market on Monday, but my plan is to swing trade AMD until at least the 24th, because I think NVIDIA posts earnings on the 22nd. So hold AMD at least to the 24th. I really don't know what is gonna happen with NVIDIA's earnings, but I'm planning on swing trading AMD based off of NVIDIA's earnings and what I see on the chart for NVIDIA on top of AMD beating earnings. I'm gonna get a feel for it. If I look at the chart right before earnings and I feel like NVIDIA is probably gonna crash out the earnings, I might get out before, but at least I got about a month's period in this trade. In the fear and greed index, that we are in a fearful market right now. So you know, when there's more fear in the market tends to go up. I hope this was helpful, y'all, man. Y'all join the family, like and subscribe, and check out the rest of my videos.